All right, folks, good morning. I'm coming back over here. Welcome to the Coffee Run. It's Johnny from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. Had to go get my stick so I can play a little bit here. All right, let's get after it here. We got 12-4, 75%. That's not too bad, right? Since we got restarted on the Coffee Run here. Again, we worked so long, right, to turn 10,000 into 100,000, right? We did it a lot of different ways, and we ended up with the Dallas Drawdown being kind of the way to get it done. In the end, I played that for about 3 months. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking out of that 100K, 5K a day, and saying, can we win with the 5K a day? Now, we haven't surpassed it really yet. Well, I guess we did once. What I really want to get to is where we get a net profit of 5,000, and we're really playing on those net profits and never touching the 100K again. I want to get to the point where we're ahead and always playing from ahead. But what we do here on the show is I play a different way every day. You'll see here I play sometimes duck and cover, sometimes it's Dallas Drawdown, sometimes it's the Headless Horseman. I play all the different strategies that I enjoy playing. So anyway, there's no real rhyme or reason or rhythm to this just yet. We're just trying to kind of have some fun with it every day and to show that you can do this if you get lucky every day. And how do you handle yourself when you get lucky? So why don't we go ahead? Overthinking Craps says he wants me to have a monthly reset. I could do that. Look at this in terms of a month of play, right? If you think about a month being 4 weeks, 4 5-day weeks, so 20 sessions. Every 20 sessions, we can look at where we got to, right? So here we are, we're 12-4, 16 sessions in. So maybe like end of next week, when we're at session 20-ish or so, we can say, well, for that month, we made X, and we can kind of look at it in terms of that. And maybe like the Monday following, we'll do a restart, something along. I like the idea of calling it month by month by month. This app that I use here that I wrote doesn't really give us the ability to break things down by, I guess it kind of does. I guess I can do all strategies, all dates. I guess if I do, I can do that. I can just do like 1 of 2015. So for the month of July or month of January, I can do it. I forgot that I coded that in. I guess I can break it down by month. It's not super, let's see. Yeah, nothing. Okay, yeah, we can do it. We can actually give you month reports. I like that, actually. I like that. So come February, it'll make more sense. That's good call, man. I forgot I even had that in there, so I'll do that. Anyway, here we go. Today is Throwdown Thursday. So Throwdown Thursdays work like this. I'm going to go ahead and get to the table, and we're going to we'll do this versus that sort of a thing today. And in a non-serious way, what I want to do is I like to go backwards and forwards on a Throwdown Thursday, unless there's something you really want to see me do. I like the idea of going backwards forward. So what I mean by that is this. I can put another $5,000 rack here in the front, like so. So we have 2 guys playing at 5K. And the one player will do the drawdown. And we're just going to go out there. We'll put the guy in the back on a drawdown, and we'll do him at 900 across. 900 across, by the way, is $300 per spot. Like so. I'm actually going to put him to the left here on the dealer side. Oh, I got one light, one black chip here. He'll have $100 change. Our other player is I'm sorry, it's 1,800 across. What am I, dumbass? 1,800 across. Sorry, not paying attention. 1,800 across. With 2 change. All right. Our other guy is going to do a simpler thing. I'll put him on the right side. He's just going to go 640 across. Actually, we'll go 700 across with him. And 700 across looks like this. It's $100 on every spot, except for the 6 and 8, which get 50 each. Okay, so that's 700 across. He's going to get 300 and change. And we're going to have him go press and pull. So he's going to go press up, press up, press up. Boom, take it all down the 4th roll. The other guy's going to go come down, and come out on the 2nd roll. Drawdown, much bigger risk, much less time. The other guy's going to have a lot less initial risk, but he's going to be out there for potentially more time. So here we go. Let's versus these guys and see what happens. I will not be doing Crapsy today for reasons that you don't probably care about, but we'll have a roll tracker, but no Crapsy. So here we go. Let's get it done. Hopefully we can get these guys done quick and call it good. Here we go. Setting the hard ways. No Crapsy today, Dustin. No Crapsy today. I couldn't get it to work right. And then I forgot my password, and I logged out, logged back in. My password's not working, so I can't get in. So with 2 minutes to go before the show, I decided I'll just stop it today. I'll reset password after the show's over, so tomorrow we have a thing. So that's just me being unlucky. Here we go. Coming out, we got a 6, a 5-1-6. Let's turn the puck on to the 6. There's your 5. There's your 1. Let's get this thing going. 5-1-6. Let's hope both players get out of this thing quick. I got a few things to talk about today on the regular part of the show, but I'm not going to be a long show. I do have an appointment today, so here we go. First roll in, puck's on, point is 6. Let's avoid disaster, Johnny. It was such a beautiful throw. It's a hard 6. It sucks. 3-3. I mean, it's good to make a point, I guess, right? Both guys are going to get paid, but damn, man. All right, so our big guy, the 1,800 across guy, remember, he's got about 3 times the risk of the other person, right? We'll do him first. He's going to get paid $350, and he's going to come down on half of those bets, like so. Come back to the rack with that in the backside. He's going to take what he has left on the table and spread himself out to go 150 on every number, or 900 across. He's down on every number to 150. One more hit, and he is, as they say, done. Might stay out there and play a little bit longer for the hell of it, right? There's that. Our other player is going to get paid $175 for the 150 on the 6. I'm going to take this as quarters. And we're going to do an inside press. So we'll go 50 on the 9, 50 on the 5, and I've got 75 here. We'll make the 6 and 8 both look like 180, so I'm going to take $25 as nickels. And they go to 180. The insides all pay 210. We got a little bit of change right there, okay? I will take the blacks from our top player and color them up, because I do need the blacks in the dealer rack. All right, he's got in his rack 2,500, 3,500, 4,450. 4,450 in the rack. He's only looking for 1/3 out here is what he's light on. So here we go. Coming out, new point. That puck should be off. Let me go grab it. Off on the puck. Off on the puck. And again, just kind of evaluate how you see this risk, right? One guy, the guy with all the money out there, actually has less risk right now than the other guy does. If they both burn right now, the guy that went out 900 already has more money in his rack. So if we have a 7 here, the guy who you probably thought had less risk is actually going to be in worse shape. Not by much, but the drawdown's pretty powerful. It's a 6-1-7 on the come out. Here we go. That was a weird bounce. That's a 3 and a 1, 4. Push it down. All right, here we go. We're on. Puck's on. 3-1-4 is the point. Let's get our second hit. Let's buckshot that. That'd be cool, right? Get that little double payment on the end there. Be sweet if we can do it. Yeah, Dan says, hate the buckshot. Hate the buckshot on the don't. Hate the buckshot on the right side too, right? I had to waste the roll coming out. Now actually I had a 7 in the middle there, but normally you hate to see that wasted roll. Here we go. That looks like aces. No, it's 1-2. There's a shadow back there. I can't see in that one corner. 2-1-3. How's the sound, by the way? Are we? I watched a show of mine the other day just to kind of get a little sense of how the tables looked, and I realized the sound was super low. Hopefully, I made an adjustment. Hopefully, y'all can hear me better, and it's not clipping, but hopefully you can hear me. All right, that was a 2. Let's go, man. This is making me nervous here. That's better. That's better. Oh, it's a 10. Awesome. That was a better throw. I concentrated more. That's a 10 on the end. That's beauteous. 6, 4, 10. All right, so that's a lot of rolls. We're actually on roll 7 right now, believe it or not, and we've only gotten 2 hits. Sometimes this game, right, 7, 8 roller, but they're all garbage rolls. Anyway, here we go. Our drawdown player has 150 on it. That's going to pay $300. I got to pay the vig. It's going to be $7 in vig. I'm going to drop a quarter out of here, okay? And we'll get 10. Come on, Johnny. 1, 2, 3, and 3. There's the change for paying the vig on that 10, and he will come down. He's done. 2 hits. Whoop, wrong guy. 2 hits and he's out. We'll take the I can barely reach. There we go. All right. He's done. I'm going to take him up to the rack. We'll evaluate his rack situation here in a second. Our other player, did I get one of those wrong? I did. I didn't pull a 6. All right, I pulled the wrong guy's bets down, didn't I? I did. I always do that. Shoot. All right, I'll put him. I got to put that all back. Damn it, Johnny. Damn it, Johnny. I do that all the time. 1, 2, 3. He's on the left. No, I pulled the right ones down. He's on the left side. Yeah. Yeah, it was the 6 and the 8 that were jacked up. I pulled the wrong 6 down. That's okay. We're fine. We fine. I just pulled the wrong initial one. All right. Our other player, who's going up on that 6, gets 210 on the 6. 180 pays 210. Now, he's got to go up one more time. He's taking 4 hits. He's got to get 4 hits to get his profit. So what we're going to do with him is nice and simple. We're going to take the 5 and 9 to 200 each. The 6 and 8, I'll give them another $30 each. They'll be at 210. I'll put the last quarters on the 4 and 10. We're going to split it. We're basically going to press across for him. Now he needs another couple of hits here. Right? We need to get that money shot. All right, we pressed up the 6 and 8. We pressed up all the things. We need 3 hits to get out of here. Okay, here we go. Got to survive one more. And again, nothing's coming back to the rack till he gets his money shot. Here we go. Money shot coming. Money shot right freaking here. I got this. I got it. Let's go. It is a aces. Aces. Oh, I rolled. There we go. 1, 1. Is that the small? No, I need the 5 and why did the 6 not show up? The 6 should be lit up on the 18. Oh, because the come out 7 erased it. So I think I threw a 6 in there somewhere. All right, here we go. 3, 3. Let's go, shooter. Incredible that it's been this long of a roll and no hits. There's a 10. We got out of it. My goodness gracious. All right, 6, 4, 10. Look at that crappy set of rolls on screen, would you? We set that point of 6 and we hit the 6. That's a payment. Come out 7, right? Set a point of 4, no payment. A 3, a 10 gets paid, and a 10 gets paid. That was roll 8, and we got 3 box hits. It's insane. All right, so 125 pays 250, right? Because it's a 10, I think he's done. I think we can pull his bets down. 250. We got to pay the vig on him though. Did I give him his 10 last? I don't think I paid his 10 last. Oh, I did. I spread it out. He owes this. He owes 5 in vig for the last one and 7 in vig for this one. I didn't take his vig the last time, so there's that. All right, let's pull him down and we'll see where we are profit-wise. Now again, we got lucky today. We had eight decent rolls. Okay, we'll do this guy in the front first. See where he's at. 2, 3, 4, 5. $100. There's 5. 1,500. So 3 purples for him. In greens, he has 100. So back to his rack. There's his starting bankroll, and his profit is $623. He needed to get 3 hits to do it. Smaller starting level, needed 3 hits to get there. He was at risk for 700 the entire time. Okay, but decent little profit there. Our other player, let's bring his mess out and see what he's got. 2, 3, 4, 500. There's 1,000. 1, 2. So 5, 1,000, 1,500. Let's get those purples out there right now. There's the purples for him. And the change is 1, 2, 3, 4, 125, whatever that is, 125, 143, okay, and change. Back to his rack we go. He's got 625, 643 in profit. They both literally have the exact same thing, like 500, 623 to 643. The profit level is the exact same. Now, what I always say is this: when you do basically the pineapple press like I did, or like a tier pressure kind of thing where you build up from a lower base like that, 1, 2, 3 hits and pull, right? You can do 4 hits and pull. 4 hits, the next hit would have been enough money to say you have pulled exactly what your spread was. One more hit, the 4th hit, he would have had $700, $700 across, and he's out, right? Completely out of the hand, and playing for nothing. But 3 hits is almost what you started with. The Dallas Drawdown almost always wins you $500, right, on that 900 coming down. The extra little bit here is because we hit the 10 twice. So we had the extra juice from the 10. Both players had the same profit. One player had a sweat for one roll, $1,800. But as soon as that first hit came, he actually had less risk than this guy did after the first hit, right? He had to stay engaged the entire time. So there's your Thursday coffee run. I'm going to roll the dice a couple more times here. Obviously, I'm going to go back out. I'll leave this guy's profit here. Let's go back out with, we'll do 125. 125. I'll go just 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. I'll play the across minus the point for this player down here, just to have something to do for a few minutes while I finish the roll, and then we'll get down. We'll talk a little bit. Hope that's a clear enough explanation for you what I did. Too bad no craps today, but that was again my fault. My fault. Oh God, that's horrible. 5 tray. That's an 8. 5, 3, 8. That'll pay $29. I'll actually do it like this, 25. I'll pay it in reds and like that. We'll make the 6 and 8 look normal now. I'll put $10 on the 9 and take the rest back. That way we've got a couple of things there that are paying. Actually, I'll put 10 to the 5 too out of my rack. That way they're paying 50 for 1. And I'll start pressing up the insides in a second. We'll grab the 4 if we need to. And hopefully we can survive another roll or two. Come on, dude. Let's do it. Ooh, do you see that big kiss? 7. Every time I say that out loud in the air, I'm like, oh, they're going to kiss, and we burn the whole thing. Oh, well. Not the end of the world. So, good coffee run. Me and my best friend played together today, and we both ended up winning. How about that? We can have ourselves a nice little dinner tonight. That's pretty cool. So, anyway, let's see. So, what's on tap here? I got a couple of things I want to talk through a little bit, and I'll get you back to your day as fast as I possibly can here. But I gotta get a couple things out, and then I have a here's the deal question for you too. I'm glad to see Jeff here. Good morning, Jeff. I haven't seen you. I haven't said hello in a while, but there you are. Good morning, Jeff. Randy says good morning to Jeff, but not to me. Whatever. I'm not gonna take it personal. You probably said good morning earlier. Let's see. Overthinking Crafts has got typos everywhere. Let's see. The sound is modulate per Jeff's comment. What does that mean? Jeff says, sounds like a mic is over. Yeah, I turned it up a little bit so you could hear it, but I think it's clipping is what happens. So I think I got to find that butter zone of being too quiet, too loud, and without headphones on, it's hard to hear it. So I'll work through it. After the show today. I'll play a little bit. Anyway, who else is here? I can say good morning to. Dustin1 is here. Of course, we already said hello to him. And I know Dan's here because Dan and I were talking earlier. Dan says good morning to everybody. That's actually Nemo saying good morning, everybody. Papa Chops, good morning, and Danny with good morning. All right, let's hit a couple topics here. What's brewing today? Well, I finally finished the gambling series. My gosh, I got one more video to film in the 301 series that I got to refilm, re-record, not record, republish, and. This is the Gambling 101, 201, 301, all those 90-something shows that we did. I just edited them all down. Now, I didn't do Jeff level editing or Ryan or color up level editing. I basically took the lecture that I gave, mostly in this room, actually, and I put a little intro on it. Here's the raw lecture, cursing, ums and all, one shot through, Some days I did a table demo and I put all 90 videos together. I'm uploading them now. I were uploading them all last night. Making thumbnails, getting them all up there. So the Pro Craps channel, I have all that content coming out in the next, I'll do like one a week or so. I may move that content here to this channel. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know where it belongs. It's not really craps, but it's gambling stuff, right? So I don't know. I got to think about where that lecture series goes. Probably going to stay at the Pro Craps. Anyway, got them all done. I don't know why I have Advantage Player Workshop listed up there. That's weird. Anyway, that must have been a note from yesterday. Anyway, those are coming out finally. My goodness, it's been a hot minute. Is my fill word for sure, no question about it. And the thing is, there's a tool out there called Descript, which I tell all the other content creators about. It's a great tool. And what it does is it takes your video, you upload a video to it, and it transcribes the whole thing, and then it gives you the raw text of the video. And then you go through the raw text, just like you would in Microsoft Word. You find the you find the swear words, and you can remove them or even change them. I can actually change, shit to shoot if I wanted to. And then it doesn't redo, but it puts out the video with all those words taken out. And it has my voice in AI, so we can change the words. When I change a word here and there, it'll change them, which is cool. However, the video to me comes out choppy. Like when you watch a lot of YouTube videos, I know that it's professional editing and they have all these cutscenes. I don't like the cutscenes. I don't like it when it goes from here to here, and I don't like that look. Feels like I don't know, like you're hiding something, I guess. I don't know. We all know what we're doing. We're taking the ums out and we're taking out the bad takes, but I like the raw John talking. Here's just how it came out that day. I think that's a better feel. I think it's what makes me, I think. So I leave them in. Unless it's really bad and obvious, or I caught a couple of sneezes in there and that kind of stuff. But I generally leave it. I like it raw. So I leave it raw. And that's just how I do it. So those are coming out soon. Also, I'm working on a couple new games, believe it or not. In my times of non-work, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. And as you know, I'm writing a book. I'm actually writing 2 books, believe it or not. I'm writing 2 books, one on gambling, one not. And I'm also in the middle of making a couple of games. And I got to thinking about this. There's a market out there for tabletop games, right? So I'm making a tabletop game, 2 of them actually, for craps, that are essentially, one of them is kind of a play on aggravation. If you ever played aggravation, it's an altered version of aggravation that's craps themed. As well as a Yahtzee style game, but called Street Dice. So I'm working through those right now. I'm also working on a game, a casino game, 2 of them. So I got the bug. Sit back. I got the bug when we were at Craps for the Cure, and we did the whole review of Big AZ's Hardway Parlay idea. You remember the Hardway Parlay that he had, where basically for $1 bet on the Hardway Parlay, it would pay, I forget the numbers. It was like 15 to 1, 25 to 1, and 80 to 1, or whatever it was, on 2, 3, or 4 any hardways. So if you had any 4 hardways showed up in a roll, it was like 90 to 1 or something like that. It was designed to make it easier on the dealers and also an easy bet for us to make. Well, I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, the idea of building a new casino table game is super intriguing. When I was talking to Shackelford about the process, then I talked to 10 Ton afterwards about the process, because he's gone through a similar thing with a side bet. And I thought, man, how cool would it be to invent a new game? And so that's what I've been working on. I've been inventing a new game. And Cody, oh, by the way, Cody, good morning. First time watching. Oh, you're gonna get a window into my brain here. So I've been working on this idea of a game called Easy Craps, and the idea behind it is this: in Washington State and in many states across the country, California included, you have 2 kinds of casinos. You've got the tribal casinos, which can have all the games, right? The Class 3 license. They have everything. They have craps, roulette, all the stuff. In California, they can't even have dice, right? They have craps but no dice. They have roulette but no dice. They have cards that have to determine things, which is weird. Different subject. But here in Washington State, we have these things called card rooms. They call them a card room. And they can have what's called pull tabs, which are kind of like slot machines, but they're paper. It's weird. They can have up to 15 table games, right, that are house banked games, which means the house, it's just like they have blackjack and baccarat and like Pai Gow, not Pai Gow tiles, but Pai Gow cards. They have what else they have? Like 3-card poker and Let It Ride, just the normal stuff you see in a casino. They have 15 tables in a card room as long as they serve food. That's our laws. Every state's different, but that's kind of what you have. And there's no dice. There's no dice. You can't have craps. You can't have roulette because those are owned. They're licensed only to the tribal casinos. I know a lot of states work the same way. So I'm like, how can we get craps in a casino like this? Like you can't even do bubble craps. There's nothing you can do. And then I thought, what if we concocted a way to play craps on a table that's like a blackjack half moon, right? Where the players place their own bets, which is a key thing. The dealers can't touch your money. Players place their own bets. Dealer determines the outcome with cards. Players get paid. It's just like a card game, right? But we do it to the rules of craps. I'm working hard on this. I have a giant presentation I'm working on that's gonna I think make this thing make sense. And when I get to the point where I've got a set of rules figured out and a layout figured out, I'll share it with you. But just so you know, side note over here, and besides my regular work, I've got this kind of like book and table games and casino game idea that I'm working as a kind of a side hustle because I think there's room for it. And I think I got a good idea here. So anyway, I'll share with you how it all works, what the payouts are and all that kind of stuff. And as I go through the process, I may even publish the process because for both the side bet and the real game, I've been told that it's impossible to get a game published. Not the board game, but a casino game for lots of reasons. And I have no doubt that that's true, that it's almost impossible to get one through. However, I think it would be sick and cool if I tried it and filmed it, right? Like, I'm always talking to you guys. What do you want to see content-wise? You want more rolling, more, what do you want to see? How about that? Would that be interesting to watch me go through the process of trying to sell a game, right? And in fact, when it gets down to it, I think we as a group can build the game. I can play it here. We can tweak it until it feels good and right. Anyway, that's what's happening. So there's stuff going on. I have lost my mind, and I'm just doing some different extra things. So with all that said, we're going to move on to the show here, the rest of the show. But I have my note, like always. If you have a question for me, put a Q in front of it. I'll see it at the end, or PC or Q in front of your comment. I'll filter for those later on, and I'll be able to answer you up in the question and answer segment. If you have a question to ask for a Daily Dose of DI or for a weekly Here's the Deal, go to Discord. There's a channel now for each of them in Discord. You just go to casinogaming.tv, hit the community tab, join the Discord, put in your questions, and we got them, right? Matter of fact, I've got one, I think, today for us here. So we'll remind you of this, or go to that in a second, but reminder of the schedule coming up, right? Casino Quest Bridge seminars, February 22nd, March 22nd. I'll be down there teaching both of those with David. We teach, we go to the casino and play together. A little cocktail hour as well. It's going to get bigger over time with better food and better drinks and more play. So that's happening. Casino Tiers will be in Vegas March 7th to 9th. Okay, that's going to be Ed Robinson, 10 Ton, Bo Parker doing their seminar, a Saturday one and a Sunday one. If you're interested in meeting them, hanging out, playing, I'll be there for that too, March 7th. Big AZ's meetup is at the end of March. I'm going to live in Vegas for March, by the way. Looks like I got that March. I'm there February 22nd. The March thing for Casino Tiers. I have a cruise that leaves Los Angeles March 14th, right? That gets back on the 22nd or whatever, and then I'm right back there for Big AZ's meetup. So it's like I'm going to be basically out of here for a month. And then we have the Brownwater Bash coming up in May. Those are your coming events. So kind of get your calendars booked up on that stuff there. Now, on the DI front, I want to ask this question of you. Do you believe, this is for everybody in chat. So in chat, you can put a DI in front of it. Okay, put a DI in front of your comment. I want to see this. I want to see DI, colon, and then your thoughts after it. Don't put thoughts like that. Put your actual thoughts, okay? Are there such a thing as advantage players? Okay, now this is an interesting question. And I want you to really think about it before you just push an answer out there. Let me go through some stuff. And as I'm talking, if something resonates, get to it, okay? What's an advantage player? Okay, let's look at a game where you can actually gain a true mathematical advantage. Blackjack. If you have a hand dealt 2-deck game with normal rules, 3-2, stand on all 17s, hand deck 2-deck game, or a 4-deck shoe, even up to a 6-deck shoe, right? A card counter who's good and perfect and doesn't get caught counting cards with their spread has a mathematical advantage, okay? The casino beats you to death because they've got unlimited time and money and a house edge over the course of thousands of hours and millions of results. They bleed out 5 cents per bet or whatever it is for the game, and they make money. The advantage blackjack players doing the same thing, right? They've got the hook when the deck gets thick, and they can change their spread. And over the course of many, many, many hours and massive amount of money. Remember, these card counters aren't winning every hand, but they've got 50K buy-ins, right? So they can afford the big bets when the deck is thick. They can have that big spread, right? They're eking out, again, a 1 to 2 to whatever percent advantage they have over time. They flip the book on the casino, and they're getting many results per hour, many hours of play. That's an advantage play in blackjack. It's mathematical advantage. If you could do that, and guys can do that, they form teams and they play 24 hours a day because they want to turn into the casino and take that small average win over many, 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 many hours. That's advantage play. If you knew what was coming in the deck, let's go to Phil Ivey, right, who won all that money in blackjack because they had figured out what was coming, right, with the edges of the cards, right? In Baccarat, he figured out what cards come in and can adjust his bets, and he took the casinos for millions. That's an advantage play. Is it cheating? It's using information. The casino gave you information by self-marking the cards, right? In blackjack, the casino gives you information by dealing the cards, right? Those are advantage plays that over the course of time you can exploit. In craps, is there an advantage player? Meaning you have a mathematical advantage all the time, and if you played for millions of hours, you would flip the book in the casino. My answer to that is hell no. If there was, they'd be there. If there was such a thing as that, people would never stop playing. You'd be at the table for 15 hours a day using your advantage. There's a lot of reasons why that's impossible. Okay, one, we're throwing the dice, right? Which means you're doing this. You cannot do this 8 hours a day. Your arm will, if you could do it to the point where you had flipped the book, right? Where instead of the 8.5 roll average length of hand, your average was 12 all the time. And you were not throwing sevens during the rolls, right? If you flipped it to where you could do that consistently, you couldn't last. Your arm would fall off, right? You couldn't do it. So it's impossible to do physically, number one. Number two, the back wall. We talked about the back wall all the time. If players had advantages, they'd never stop playing. If players had a real, honest-to-goodness, book-it-to-the-house advantage, I'm looking at Dominator and that crew, right? Guys that are making more money selling DI than doing DI, like the Golden. And I pick out Dominator, Golden Touch, King Dice, what's the other guy? Koga Ninja, right? These guys that they make their living teaching, not doing, right? If you actually had the ability to snipe as well as people say they do, if you had the ability to beat the house as consistently as they say they do, they wouldn't have jobs. Wouldn't open up a pizza shop. Dom wouldn't have a software company, right? There wouldn't be classes that they're teaching. There's way more money out here on this table than there is teaching a freaking class. I can teach an 8-hour class at $1,000 a head and make $8,000 across the day, or I can do what I just freaking did and go out there $3,200 across, roll my 9-10 shots, and be out of there with more money in 15 minutes. Nobody does that. Nobody does that, right? We have a slight advantage over the 7. A good DI does, a slight advantage over the 7. They may be able to create a thicker pocket of numbers for a short period of time. They may be able to capitalize on their betting better because of how they're throwing, but there's no mathematical advantage in my opinion. Okay, that's why when people say things like Dominator got kicked out because he was too good, he didn't. He didn't, right? There are people in the industry that will tell you the story, the real story there, right? Yeah, he was probably pretty good, but the kick out happened in multiple casinos because of the way he treated the staff, right? He was known to be a hothead, and that's what happened there, right? It's happened to other guys too. This crew that beat up the casinos on the roll to win, that was an advantage play crew. They figured out an advantage over the acrylic top roll to win table that is dealt by one dealer who's not a craps dealer, dealt by a slot attendant, right? They advantage played that game. They didn't hit the back wall. They slid the dice in on the acrylic, and that person didn't really catch on to it. Nobody knew, right? They were good dice throwers. They all threw from the same spot. They would be on the machine. They'd throw the dice. When they finally 7 out, they would log off the machine, print their ticket. The other guy would log off, take the same spot, and they'd all throw from stick left 1. They kept rotating around that table, right? Again, taking advantage of a situation with their skill. Cheating, right? Is that cheating? Night in the back? I don't know. You look at me. So that's how that all worked out, right? And I'm trying to give you the truth of the matter. You can talk to casino execs, which I have, about the situations. I know the full story behind the guys that took down Roll to Win. I know the full story behind Dominator. Yeah, he was a good thrower, but they didn't want him in the casino. They didn't want him in there. And that ended up being the thing that happened, right? Anyway, nobody's going out there and living on this because they can throw. I think it's an interesting. Overthinking crap. Baccarat, better way to win. Potentially. Auto shufflers have changed Baccarat too, though, right? The casino, again, anytime they can take something from you, they will. We know this, right? There's auto shufflers exist in blackjack to kill the card counters, right? Auto shufflers exist in Baccarat, not for the same reason, because you although you can count cards in Baccarat, it's not as advantageous, but the consistent shuffling of that shoe does change the depth of the cards, right? You don't see the super long runs anymore, right? When it was hand dealt, right? You could get into pockets in Baccarat where there's 25, banks in a row or whatever. You just don't see it anymore, right? The continuous shuffle has kind of flattened the curve a little bit on that game. It's not as exploitable as it used to be, right? On the games where there's an auto shuffler. And I don't know that there's a math study that proves that out. That's more of a feel thing. It's more of a I've been told kind of a thing. But it's a different game than it used to be, for sure. The auto shuffler has changed things quite a bit. And you'll notice that game has become nothing but side bets, right? Look at a Bach table today. It's not player, bank, or tie. It's player, bank, or tie, blah, 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 all these things over here. That game has devolved into something way different than it used to be. It's interesting. Dusted One, I'm not confusing the two, right? And I know what you're about to say. I'm using this as the DI. Does DI create an advantage player in you? What I'm saying is the DIs who claim to have an advantage because they can throw, right? Are they true advantage players where you have a mathematical edge because of your throw? Consistently. That's the thing, right? If you can guarantee one throw, you'd never lose money again, right? Now, advantage players like you and others who claim to be playing their betting style with an advantage based on whatever tea leaves you're reading and how you're playing things out, different discussion. I'm talking here about advantage play based on DI. I should have probably qualified that at the beginning, so thanks for that. All right, let's see some comments here. I see some, let's see, I'm going to go backwards here and read. Let's see, all I describe is not reasonable or wrong explanation. Right. All I describe is not reasonable. Explain that. I'm not sure that you're talking to me or somebody else, but spread and leverage are magic beans. You're right. It's interesting, right? I think the leverage play is actually everybody who plays with leverage, right? You play with leverage is, again, using your money for good, right? Leverage is using your money to your advantage. When you play a don't pass with a smaller size place bet, you're leveraging the 7 against the other numbers. That's what you're doing, right? You're giving yourself time. You're buying yourself time. It is leverage. So anyway, I have so much going on here. Vegas says, going back to the other thing, California card rooms used to do craps on a craps table with only cards, no dice. It was terrible. I think they still do it. Card craps is still a thing. I've seen videos on it recently. I haven't been to I'm going to be in California in a couple weeks. I haven't seen it myself, but I think they're still doing card craps out there, which is weird, right? It's a weird game. So, somehow the math still works on it, but I've played it here on this table and it's just goofy, man. All right, let's see. I think that's all I got to say on that. So think about that, about advantage play. Again, I'm not putting DI people down, right? Because I do it. I'm practicing. I'm trying to get myself better too, right? I'm just trying to extend and thicken the roll and have better early than late, right, results like I do in the mornings here. I'm trying it. I don't think it's an advantage play. I think advantage play really means, to me, you have a mathematical edge consistently over time. And I don't know that DI is to that point. And if we ever got to that point, they'd change the table somehow, right? They'll go to cards everywhere. So the casino, if there's an advantage, they'll find a way to stop it. Let's just put it that way. They've done it in blackjack. They'll do it here too if there was a thing, right? All right, let's go ahead here. And we talked about this yesterday. I just want to mention it real quick. I'm going to go and roll some more dice over here. I'm going to do a little more Thursday Throwdown. We'll do another little comparison from the other side of the table in a minute, focusing on the phase play, right? Let's identify while we're doing this when we get on, when we get over, when we get in, when we've recovered, when we've replaced, and when we can reap our benefits, right? As I'm playing here, let's identify the gold tiers together, right? You guys do it with me. I just got a super chat from gold number 7. Thank you, sir. Look at that. I appreciate you, man. I do owe you a phone call to get through the Excel spreadsheet with you. All right, let's go. We'll do that, and then we're going to come back and we'll talk about. I got a here's the deal for you. So let's go for about 15 minutes on the cross side of the table, and we'll play around with some get them on, get them over, get them in. 3-phase play. Here we go. All right, let's rip it out here. I'm going to walk around the table, and I gotta listen back to the show because I want to hear the volume clipping and see if I can fix the microphones. All right, puck will be off. Let's do I don't know. Let's just put. It doesn't really matter. Let's put like $100 or $250 in the rack. Actually, I'll go $320. 1, 2, $350 in our rack. Okay. What we'll do here is we'll do 160 across twice. So I'm going to take out half of this. We'll do 160 across twice. There's 160. With an extra nickel for good luck. We'll do it 2 times, okay? We can play this any number of ways. And I'm going to, and again, the idea is to compare things, right? So I'm going to keep the dice, well, maybe. I kind of want to use the same rolls and I kind of don't. But let's see how this feels. I'm going to play a couple of ways that are similar from this level. One we'll do is kind of what I just did, okay? Which is that 3 hits and down kind of a thing, which is a more aggressive way to play, where you're risking the whole 160 for multiple rolls. Let's get a point established first. We're going to be on that 10. And we'll press, and then pull on the 4th roll. This is like you can call it tier pressure, you can call it the Hawaiian horn. It's the same concept. It's going to be 4 or 3 hits at full risk, okay? 9 pays 35, 25, 35. Now, with the $35, you can do a number of interesting things, okay? I'll show you one thing you can do. I'm going to make that look like quarter or nickels, okay? We can go 10 and 10 on the 5 and the 9. Now they're $35 bets. They pay 50 for 1. I can take this nickel as pennies and say, let's make the 8 only look like 42. I'll take $3 back to my rack. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bets that pay 50 for 1. I've already gotten paid $35. I'm looking to score 160 and get out of this hand, right? Or looking to score enough to do a new bet. I'm going to try and stay at the same. I want to stay at the same level if I can pull it off. There's an 8. That's perfect. It pays 50 for 1. There's the dollar from my rack. There's 50 from the house. Don't need the stick just yet, okay? So with that $50, we can do this on the second roll. We're going to make the 6 and the 8 both look like 60. Now I've got 2 bets paying 70, 2 bets paying 50, 2 more bets paying 50. It's our second hit. Our third hit will be our first one, our recovery. There's a 10 that pays $50, 50 for 1 on the end. So everything paid. That's fantastic. There's the $1 from our rack. That pays $50. Now, if I regress back down to where I started, go back down to 160. What have I done in those 3 rolls? Let's take a look. How close did we get to being out of this hand? 100, 25, 130. So I'm into the hand now for 30 bucks. I got 160 out here. I've gotten $130 back. Okay, which is good, not great. Good, not great. Maybe you can say it's good enough. Okay, there's 125, 130, so I'm 30 bucks light of where I'd like to be. Let's actually lammer that up. Now, looking in the rack from that play, we know we've almost got our bullet back. Again, the goal is always to get back the bullet. I have an extra green here. I don't have too many greens up there. My goal is to get the bullet back, right? That's the get out part. Get them on. My bets are on and they're paid for, essentially. Now we're going to try and lock profit from the same level. Okay? Now we look at, can I get additional money in the rack? And think about this too, like I said yesterday. I brought back 130. That's not quite 100%. That's about 85% return on my investment. I invested 160. I got back 130. It's about, you do the math. It's about 85%, whatever that comes out to be. That ain't bad. And I said this yesterday. If I could buy a house for $100K and in the morning and in the afternoon, I could sell that house for $180K, that'd be okay with me. Right? Wouldn't it be okay with you? If I could buy a house for $160 and in the end of the day, I could sell it for $290, right? $160, $260, $290. If I could sell the house for $290 in the afternoon, would you do that every day? Buy a house, sell it for that much extra profit? Of course you'd do that, right? If your investment banker did this for you, you'd marry the guy or gal, right? That would be your favorite person in the whole world, right? And you just pulled it off. We just pulled off the impossible with that move. But we're going to keep playing. We're going to leverage the win. How far can we take that? There's the 7. So that's going to be it. So what happens is this, right? In that move, because you left it out there, we actually lost money on that shooter. Can you believe that? We had such a fantastic roll. We lost money. We lost our 30 bucks, which is interesting. Let's do it again. I'll go back out 160 again. I don't know why I have the extra. I'm just going to take the extra bullet away. We don't need it. I'm just going to go out 160. We'll play 160 a number of times and get a feel for it. So that was the aggressive, get me out of this hand way, right? Let's press, pull. This time we're going to do a regression, the duck and cover. We'll do that one. And we'll see how long it takes us to get out of the hand this way. Again, we're looking to get 160 back up in this rack to get out phase, right? So points 4, let's avoid disaster. There's a 9. Cool, pays 35. Now duck and cover does what? It takes the bet that hit down and goes down to table minimum. That's 50 bucks of our 160 back in the rack. I'm going to spread these out so you can see them. Let's avoid it. 4, awesome, pays 50 bucks. Now, unfortunately, it pays 49. We'll do 49. 25, 45, 49 is what it actually pays. Buck goes off. We'll make the 4 look like $10. Again, I'm going to bring 50, 60, and put the $4 over here. Okay, we need those for change later on. All right, but now we've got 110 back in our rack. The puck's off, of course, right? And we're building up that bullet by coming down on bets versus by pressing up on bets. Notice that our risk has changed, right? On roll 3 here, or on potential hit number 3, we have 110 in the rack. We're only into the hand 50 bucks. The other thing that we did on hit number 3, we were still in the hand for the full 160. So we 7 out now, we're going to lose money. The other system would have lost the entire thing, right? So coming down as you play, interesting way of doing it, right? There's 4, there's another 3, and then there's a 4. So the 4 is going to pay 18 bucks. Now, what I do here is this. When I'm playing this strategy, look at the 4s, right? Once a bet comes down, now it goes back up again. So I'll go ahead and place that 4 now for $25 and take the whites back. So once it goes down, it works its way back up and it's a new bet. It's on its own rhythm. That's going to press itself as it goes. 8 is the point. Here we go. Give me something else. 5, sweet. 25, $35. Looks like 10. 50 comes back. Look at the rack, guys. There's our 100, 150, 160. So we have achieved the goal, right? There's your 160 back. You got your bullet back. Now that was 3 hits. It was the 4, it was the 5, it was the 9. Now luckily the 4 was one of them, so that gives you the extra juice. In 3 hits, we have our money back. We also have our money still in play. Now you could say That was phase one. Got them off. Get them on. Bets are on. They're paid for. If you wanted to really have some fun, take the 10 down to $10. Take the 6 and 8 both down to $12. We'll put the $4 from our rack to make that right. Do a full regression, and now you've got 160. You got them on. You got them over. You got an $80 profit locked, and you can bypass that second phase. Your second phase is achieved by the first phase completing. In this case, we got our money back plus if you do the full regression. The alternative is leave those bets out there at bigger size and start playing them at a higher level if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can, again, bring back and lock, right? That way of playing in the same 3 hits results in money back plus profit, but a tiny series of bets. You're at table. The cost for that, the cost to get out of the hand and have some lock is that you're playing at $10 bets. The other guy puts out all that risk and he ended up losing in the end, but the reward for him is that he's got big bets. He's got leverage sized bets out here. He's taken all the wins and put them all at risk to play for bigger numbers, right? Here we go, 50 for 1. Let's play it out here. We'll just play this. We'll play this like I would. We'll flip the 4. There's a 9. It pays 14. We'll do 15 for 1 and make it look like a quarter. Right, I always get these guys to green as quick as I can, and then I take a green. So there's $35. Goes to 35, take a green back. Okay, that bet will now march its way up until I get a black off of it. Maybe, we'll see. 10 pays $18 again. There's the 18. Looks like 25. White's back in the rack. Midnight. 5. Again, 15 for 1. It'll look like a quarter. There's the dollar out of the rack. 10. That's awesome. Pays 50 for 1. 50 for 1. Flip it up. We've earned a whole nother bullet. Look at that. We're $5 away from a second bullet. 100% profit in the rack. Another 100% profit out here. Yeah? There's the 8. That's awesome. That's going to pay $14. We're going to make it look like 24. Puck will be off. $2 back to the rack. So we've got almost 160 across again. We're almost back to where we were. Well, actually, we have 100 here between the 4 and 10. So we built it up, right? This is the get them on, get them over, pull some profit, and then the get them in or the reap phase on a good roll is where you start trying to take advantage. And again, we'll do this. Another 8. We'll do this as aggressively as we can. Another frickin' 8. Great. $28. Okay. Let's collect the green like we do. But I will make it look like 30. Let's go. Yeah, let's drop that. Just to make it a nice even bet. Come out 7, thank the Lord. Come out 7, 10. Couldn't be any more random than this, right? 7 out, all goes away. But that phased play, if we go back and look at the screen of how the phases work. Phase 1, get even. Phase 2, lock profit. Phase 3, shoot the moon. Okay? And again, I had 100 or 50, 50, 25, 25, and 30 here. I think that was still at $12, right? So I had about $180 or whatever out there. About 180 or so on the felt, maybe 200. That can come down, be added to the profit stack, and the profit stack for this roll was 175. We could have been out of here with, $350, $400, right? By phasing it in. That first regression that we did, the big regression after the whole thing, in this case ends up being a pretty smart move, right? So again, phase play. And I think you can do anything you want to. We can do one more, I guess. One more way of doing it, I suppose, would be more of a press to pull kind of a thing. So let's go. Whoops. I just dropped my light. Let's do another 160. I'll take this out of here. We're going to have to power press a little bit here to do this, but let's go here. We're going to do a press to regress this time and hopefully get out of here quick. Right there's going to be the 7 on the come out. 8. Okay, here we go. Press to regress. It's going to be a power press potentially. That pays $50. Now, again, we don't have we'll have whites borrowed from a friend. So 50 for 1. What I'll do here is I'm going to press up the 4 and the 10. Looking for a second hit there. Okay. On the insides, we're going to power press the ends of 7. We'll power press the insides. If we get it, let's try it again. Again, a clean 160. Point of 6. Just for comparison's sake, 11, 8. Sweet, $35. Now, I'm going to press the insides 44. So I've got to give him $9 out of my rack. I don't have it in the rack, of course. We're going to power press by $9. So 44 inside pressure. And what that looks like is this. 5 and 9 go to 35. 6 and 8 go to 42 each. They all pay $50. And then we'll come down with them. The 4 and the 10, if they hit, we press them both. If one of them hits, it pays $100 and we come down. We're looking to get out of this thing as fast as we can. And here's again the 7. So when you don't draw down, when you don't regress the first hit, this is what can happen. Twice in a row, we got burned. Twice in a row. Let's do it again. One more crack at it, and then we'll wrap things up. There's a 6 for the point. Come on, Johnny. 8. All right, that will pay $35. And again, we'll drop the $9. We'll drop the 9. There's the 30, 35. Let's see, 35 plus our 9. We'll go to 42. And hopefully this time, get a hit before we get aced out. Here we go. Come on. 11. 5. All right, one of them hits. It's 50 for 1. All right, so $50 for 1. Okay, and here's the move. Come back down. Come back down. What does that look like? Okay, to get them on, if you can get 2 hits anywhere, what is the result? 50, 75, 85, 94. Okay, this phase here, if you look at this, $94 is effectively, there's your money back, 96 across. Drop a couple of bucks and 96 across. You've power pressed in here for whatever number of dollars it is, but your 160 is back, your 96 across. Technically speaking, the $9 should be back in your rack as well, right? So you're looking at 50, 75, 85, which could be 66 inside, 76, 86. You can still get an across bet paid for. And again, 160 that begets 80, it's a 50% profit. Still the kind of thing you would love your real estate agent for, yeah? Or your investment banker for. So those kinds of plays, again, noting what's in your rack, right? Getting your money back, getting a little bit of profit locked up, and then playing it out from there, I think is the secret, man. I think it's the secret. I'm coming back over here. I think it's the secret. I think that the longer we can make ourselves safe, or the more times you can make yourself safe, the better off you're going to be. You're going to find, like we had here, a couple of PSLs, they're going to bonk you, right? If you're regressing as you go, like the duck and cover does, those donks don't hurt quite so bad. If you're making sure that you lock up that 100% profit, getting out of the hand is 100% profit, you're not going to get donked quite so bad, right? It's a nice way to elongate your play. If you're into it for the right side play and for the home run style action. Recover, replace, reap. I like that. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Any way you want to look at your 3 phases of play, get your bets paid for, lock something up, and then it's decision time. Shoot the moon or go home. Right? Leave them out there and go. Wrap it up and get the hell out of there. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Let's go. Let's go here. I think I have one more thing to get with you. Quick end of the show reminder from our gambling series, right? Have a goal, have a strategy or a way you want to play, have the bankroll to support yourself in loss and play the way you want to play, have a solid mindset, have the discipline to stick to your guns, whether that means keep playing or that means getting the hell out. Discipline is the key to executing right. Understand your appetite or aversion to risk. Identify opportunity, like we just did over here. Play in the right place and keep your emotions in check. I'll see you out there February 22nd at Casino Quest to talk about that in person if you want to. Now, I do have one of these. This is here's the deal. And again, for all the YouTubers out there, I see Dice Dr. Dan's here. I see Jeff was in here for a while. This is your weekly. Here's the deal. And again, this was inspired, as you can see by the fedora by our friend Chiro. This question comes from John, who goes by the handle JPL1. And his question was, what do you do? What do you do when you got the dice and maybe you're on a hot roll, maybe it's not a hot roll, maybe you're just getting started, and somebody down the end does one of these. I'll even demonstrate it for you. What if somebody down the end, and you know who I'm talking about, pulls this move? Big ass stack of chips there, and a big ass stack of chips, and I've seen this with nickels and shit, right? Don't pass right in the landing zone, and a giant freaking field bet right over like in the way. So you got like two stacks of chips that are kind of in your way in the worst possible spots, right? If you're one of those advantaged shooters, right? If you're one of those guys, you're dealing with that. Fat stacks in your way. What do you do? Here's the deal. Do you physically say, do you mind moving your chips? Obviously, it's a don't player, right? And we talked about these douchey don't players, right? I play the don't all the time. I'm not a douchebag about it. I put my bets by the don't come or as far away as I can from landing zones. As a don't player, personally, I want you to make money. Like I'm not looking for you to lose. I'm looking for you to set a point, please. Don't get it. Just don't come out 7 me and don't buckshot me, right? Set yourself a point, hit 4 or 5 numbers, and then 7 out, right? If you're a smart player and you do what I just did, right? 3 or 4 hits in, you should have your money back and profit and be playing across. You should be fine. When that 7 comes out, you should already have money locked up. You should be okay with that. And I want you to be okay. I want you to make your money. Just save the 7 for me. Save the 7 for me. That's all I want, right? But this guy here who puts all their chips in your way on purpose, what do? Do you just go and throw your dice at the chips as hard as you can to knock them all down and make them have to pick them up? I've seen people do that. Target the chips to make them knock down. I've seen people ask them politely. I've seen, like, if you're playing with a team or with your friends, somebody will tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, dude, do you mind moving your stuff out the way so we can shoot? You know what I'm saying? At the very least, can you color up that giant stack of reds and make it look like a normal size bet? You know what I'm saying? The dealers won't do that for you. But so what would you do? That's the question. The question, what would you do in the situation where you're playing A, by yourself and somebody does that to you, or B, with a crew and someone does it to you? I know that some people in some crews will give that guy the business, right? And maybe try and start something. I'm not typically that guy, but I can lay some snark out there for sure. So I would get those chips the hell out of the way any way I could. And if the guy's going to be a douchebag, then I'd probably throw my dice at him. I've never actually had to do that. I've only seen this happen once on a table. I've never seen it to me. I've seen other guys get really pissed though. And I also, when that happens, turn my bets off. I know I'm not superstitious, but if I see the shooter getting ticked off and pissed at the other guy, my bets are off. Like, I'm not that energy, bad vibe dude, but I definitely will pick up the shock from that guy and turn my stuff off. All right, here's the deal. So if you have a YouTube channel, please answer the question. Go put a short video out and tell me what you would say. Screenshot that right there and put out a little 60-second short and let me know what you would think. All right, let's go here. Let's go back a screen. I'm going to go to my Q&A and let's take a look at our questions. Do we have any good questions in here? Let's do a little Q search and see what I got. Cody, is there good for 1 to 2K bankroll? I've done some strategies from David Casino Quest, but I'm wondering if I have anything different. It depends on your goal, right? This is the big thing that we talk about at the bridge seminars too. What's your goal? Define good strategy. And I don't mean to be snarky about that. What I mean to say here is this. If you're there with 5 people and you're trying to play with your friends and get free drinks for 3-4 hours, I would give you one piece of advice. If you're trying to hit a home run in 10 minutes, there's no such thing. If you're trying to make a coffee run like I do, go down there, make a few $100 and get off the table really quick, I'd have different advice for you. If you want to do what we just did, play a little bit, maybe I get a good roll, maybe I don't, and however long it takes, there's a different answer to that question, right? The ways I just played, I really like. I like that duck and cover strategy. I like that a lot. It does take 2 or 3 hits to get even, but once you're even, you're really even. You're even plus profit. I'm not a bigger fan of the leave it out there for 3 hits because oftentimes you don't get the 3rd hit and you lose your whole spread. In any event, whatever you're going across with, have at least 10 bullets. At least 10, maybe more bullets to play that way with, because you're going to burn like we did today. We had 1 good shooter, we had 2 PSOs, and 1 guy where we got even. It's a pretty typical day, right? So construct your strategy, your play style to what your goal is. That's the most, if you watch that gambling series, I talked a lot about goal setting. And it's like, my goal some days is to light money on fire. My goals some days is to have a quick in and out. My goal some day is to play for 5 hours. When I'm playing for 5 hours, it's a pass line parlay, maybe a come bet. It's a pass line parlay and maybe a table minimum 6 and 8. I can make $1,000 last for 5 hours doing that, right? But again, what are you looking to pull off? That's really the question. All right, seam dice. Do you ever run into a situation where on half press versus press collect, press across versus one number? I will run that simulation. On this, every Thursday I'm doing a versus thing. So this way versus that way. That's a great way to do it. We can run a half press versus press collect. I've done it where I've shown you the differences in all the bets. Like I've on the 9, how would it look? But I've not done it with dice yet. I've not done a full rollout with 3 players playing 3 different ways. We can certainly do it. Same bet versus half press versus unit press versus double press. We can do four players at the same time and just get a sense of how they all look. I'll totally do that. Good idea. Thank you for that. I will check now for PC comments. Let's see, PCs. All right, let's see. We've already had those questions answered during the normal course of the show. I think that's it. I think that's all the things that have been said. Let's see. Dice Degen, half press is the worst compared to full press and same bet. Interesting. I'm not a huge half presser. I tend to press the color. And what I mean by that is this. I like to collect early. Let's get out here. I'll show you the way that I prefer over the years to play the box numbers. I enjoy a same bet early. Okay, I really enjoy, or like this, a $25 5, like we did earlier, right? That pays $35. I like making it look like table minimum. I like this, bringing back greens, right? But if I'm going to play from a $10 base, and that first bet pays $14 or $15 for $1 from my rack and go to $25, I like to take this, and the first time it hits, I'll take this back. I'll same bet the first green chip. Why? There's my money back. There's a green chip in profit. Okay, that's my favorite way to play a number. Now, after that hit, I'm all in, right? That pays 35, it goes to 60. That pays 85 for 1. It pays $84, right? At that point, I take the bet either to 100, whoops, or leave it at 75. 75 pays me a black chip. I can bring back $70 in profit. Or I'll make it look like 100 and still bring back a green chip as profit. Okay. If I'm in an aggressive mood, I'll leave it out there and go 125. I'll take back the reds for later. This gives me, by the way, 2 more bullets. I've gotten back my initial bullet. I can try this move 2 more times. I still have my quarter in profit. When that 125 pays 175, now I've collected a black chip. Okay, black chip comes to the rack. The green chips go back out there. Now I've got a $200 bet. Okay, I'll collect the new color. The 200 pays 280. Now, what I can do here is a couple of things, right? The easiest thing for me to do is go to 375, take another black chip back. 375 pays one of these. 5.25. That's the real full same bet, right? If I'm going to play the numbers aggressively, I really don't want to collect until I see a new color. Now here, I took back a black chip because I know the next bet pays that next color, right? Then it looks like this. And I got my purple chip in the rack, right? If you're going to play them aggressively, play them aggressively. I like that low starting point, right? But I'm down with the same bet. I don't like the rhythm, half press, because that half presser and that same set of rolls right there, that same 5 simulated rolls we just did, would only have about a $65 bet. They have 25 to 35, 35 to 50, 50 to 75, 75, finally getting $100 on the last roll, or we're getting a purple chip on the last roll, right? That aggressive hammer it. If you're going to try and hammer it, if you're going to try and do a pressing thing, get your money back with a green. The next one, get 2 more bullets, keep the green, and then beat the shit out of them, right? If you're going to be aggressive, that's how you be aggressive, right? If you're going to try and be a presser, right? If you're okay with collecting green, 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 get yourself to where you're getting a green chip every single roll and be happy with that. If that's what your bankroll and budget allows for, and that's what your goals are, fine. I'll never put you down for same betting at a color you like. If you can get your bets to $35 and you're going to get 50 for 1 10 times in a row, awesome. Down with that. But that's got to be you, right? That's got to be your risk aversion tolerance, whatever. All right. So all of that, guys, I'm out here. DJs, I have multiple videos showing it. Good. I'm going to do a live rollout with it next Thursday. We'll do a little live thing. Awesome. All right. I got to get out of here, guys. Y'all have a great day. Again, if you want to share stories about DI, here's the deal questions. You want to come back at me on anything I'm saying with Advantage Play, I'm down with it, right? Like I said, I got some good inside information. I'm kind of connected now. I mean, I'm not brag or anything, but I get to ask questions of people who know answers, right? So like the Dominator thing came up because a subscriber is like giving me a bunch of feedback about it. Thinks I'm wrong about that he was actually kicked out for being too good of a thrower, and that's just not the case. It's just not the case, right? He is a good thrower. I'm not going to deny him that, but that's not why he was thrown out, and it's not an advantage. That's not the answer to the question of if casinos don't like advantage players, they kick them out. That's not what happened there. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. You have a good day. See you tomorrow. Friday Follies. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. Maybe tomorrow we should do roulette. I think roulette tomorrow. All right. Have a good one. See you in the morning. Bye, y'all.